The referee tells us today that it is a go-go. We are here with the first round of the High Elf prelimination matches. We have Imrik, I don't know, is he a dragon tamer? He loves dragons. Maybe a little too much. And he's taking on Eltharion the Grim. This is in a rather pretty looking piece of High Elf territory. Not exactly sure where we are, but it's very nice. And on Imrik's side, we've got Imrik himself. He's not on a dragon. He's got his rather fancy-looking steed there with some fancy armor. It looks very arrogant, as all High Elves like to do. He has a unit of the White Lions of Trace, I think it is, so you said, but I'm sure someone in the comments will correct me on this one. Very fancy with their dead white lions around their shoulders. They're very proud of themselves, I imagine, for that. Some Lothern Sea Guard with shields, a hybrid infantry skirmish unit, very useful for the High Elves. A couple of units of those. He also has a Handmaiden of the Everqueen, a specialist hero unit, who's also a hybrid melee ranged unit. Very big, very effective character. He's also bringing with him a Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower, a rank 6 one, so we're expecting some good things from this unit, doing a lot of damage, hopefully. And he has some Eltharion Reavers, fast-moving Lancer Cavalry, not that well armed or armoured, but they're very quick. They could get some nasty damage in there relatively quickly. Of course, his heaviest weapon in his entire army is his Sun Dragon, hovering above there. Very mean-looking, scaly beast. We're expecting good things from the Sun Dragon. Across from them is Eltharion the Grim, as I mentioned before. His force is equally small, as we know that the High Elf faction have a relatively expensive army list, but they usually have pretty effective units all around. He also has a unit of Eltharion Reavers, as you can see, in their sort of, it's like China, sort of blue and white kind of colour scheme. He's got a Flamespire Phoenix as his monstrous unit, with its very, very blue cerulean eyes there, and fiery featherage. He's bringing himself a unit of War Lions of Trace, so I assume that these creatures will definitely want to get revenge for all of their dead brethren hanging off the shoulders of those White Lions. He's also bringing a unit of Lothern Sea Guard with shields, a unit of Phoenix Guard, a very powerful melee infantry unit with some very, very thick armor and very, very powerful weaponry. Eltharion himself is also being backed up by a unit of Silver Helms, another Lancer Cavalry unit, bit better armoured, bit better shielded, capable of doing a lot of damage on the charge, of course, and obviously Eltharion himself counted as a sword infantryman. He wields both a spear and a sword. He is a dual-wielding character, and at this time of being freeze-framed, he seems to have gone to sleep. But off we go. So we see the two forces squaring up now. Two relatively small but highly skilled armies. High Elves are very, very effective, regardless of the enemy they're fighting, and that's the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower, flinging rounds in. Oof, a lot of casualties there on the Lothern Sea Guard. They are getting boosted, though. Apotheosis upgraded, which apparently can cause fear now to enemies that they encounter. Not sure how much is going to help in this range, but the skirmishing has begun. Arrows flying in. Over on the left flank, Eltharion's forces, his fast movers, including his Phoenix, have taken up a position on the left. Imrik himself has charged off. He's left the bulk of his forces. And the Sun Dragon, just murdering some Silver Helms there, burning through. But here come the Eltharion Reavers, so we're going to have a bit of a cavalry dust-up over here on the right flank, or left flank, depending on what side it is. It's a bit of a cluster melee over there. Eagle Claw just raining shots in on the Phoenix Guard, and this is an elite unit that does not need this kind of damage. The maiden there, the Handmaiden of the Everqueen, also getting a good shot in, killing some units. Those Phoenix Guard are just melting under the fire. Eltharion has had to throw himself toward the enemy line just to try and stop some of this missile fire coming in. He's kind of distracted. Oh, the spell being cast. I'm not sure if it's been cast a little bit too far away. So he seems to be trying to aim it. There it is. As a Phoenix has been summoned, and it does decent damage to the White Lions. Over on the right flank, the Phoenix Guard are finally going to get into the action as they finally charge the Eltharion Reavers, as the Silver Helms for some reason start to retreat, and that's not going to work out as the Phoenix Guard are now. They're going to break. Their morale has shattered. This is looking very good for Imrik at the moment, as we also see the Eltharion Reavers of Eltharion also retreating, so both his cavalry units on the run now. The War Lions of Tracer are going behind the lines. It looks like they're charging the Eagle Claw. It's a good tactical decision. Meanwhile, the Sun Dragon and the Flamespire Phoenix are having a bit of a... Well, they seem to be roaring at each other at this point. I assume that does damage. Oh, no, the Phoenix, big blast of fire. But really, how effective is fire against a fire creature? It seems to be two creatures that just seem to be nullifying each other's effects. This is all going to come down to claws and teeth, or beaks in the case of the Phoenix. The 2 units of Loth and Seaguard of Imrik continuing to exchange fire between the 1 unit of Loth and Seaguard of Eltharion. But neither side seem to be giving ground there as the arrows keep raining in. The casualties starting to mount up as we see Imrik and Eltharion duking it out. But Eltharion may have the advantage since he has a spear weapon, which is going to give him a bonus against Imrik's cavalry, or his horse there. Meanwhile, the Silver Helms have rallied, and as we can see, the Illyrian Reavers on the left flank have actually broken. They are starting to come back, though. The White Lions have run off the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower, which is definitely what they needed to do. And now things are looking a bit shaky here for Imrik. He's also got units on the run. His White Lions are fleeing the field. The Sun Dragon's actually losing in the fight against the Phoenix. And Imrik himself is on the run. This is bad. This is a big morale hit. He only has 2 core units left to hold in the Handmaiden, who's now trying to duke it out with some very large, very pissed off White Lions. She's just been knocked over by one of them, but how long can her morale hold out while she is surrounded by multiple enemies, including very elite enemies like the Phoenix Guard, who, despite staggering casualties, are still in this fight. 24 men remaining of the initial unit. The Silver Helms are now charging after Imrik, which might just be his end. They are a much faster unit than his more heavily armed cavalry there. As his steed with its heavy armour is not going to be able to run as quickly as the Silver Helms do. The Loth and Seaguard of Eltharion are continuing, and I'm going to call this now. I actually think that Imrik's forces are going to lose this fight. The Sun Dragon is taking a beating, and yes, it is indeed, the Sun Dragon is fleeing the fight. It is wavering, it is broken, and it has left, and there's no way that that Phoenix is going to be defeated by a rallied group of White Lions. We'll see how that goes, as a bunch of them just get sent flying by the fiery bird. And another blast there, probably killing a few of us. And that's it, we have reports. There he is. Imrik has indeed been felled by the Silver Helms. A huge morale hit for the remaining troops there of Imrik. As we can see, the Bolt Thrower crew did try to get back, and they have succeeded in running off the Illyrian Reavers of Eltharion's forces, but I don't know if it's really going to be that effective at this late stage of the game. We still have Eltharion himself up, and he still has the Phoenix, and both of those units alone can cause massive casualties amongst Imrik's troops, and it looks like his forces are all but shattered at this point. And what a turnaround. It looked like Eltharion was on the ropes. It looked like he was going to be defeated, but then a really impressive combat by Eltharion. Imrik was routed, despite the fact that Imrik clearly had the advantage in range forces. And that's it. Jeff has called it a defeat there, and we'll have a look at the scores there for both sides. So if we have a look at Imrik's forces, Imrik himself not doing a lot. 16 kills, his Handmaiden doing better, 27. His White Lions really underperformed with only 7 kills between the entire unit. His 2 Loth and Seaguard, though, did very good, 49 to 42. With 15 kills from the Illyrian Reavers, 25 from the Sun Dragon, 29 from the Bolt Throwers. Considering the Bolt Thrower was the highest ranked unit in his entire army, 29 is a very low score. As we can see, Imrik deployed 375 men, lost 263 for a remainder of 112, whereas Eltharion only deployed 336 and lost 225. It was close. They literally had a man between them and troops remaining, so it was about as close as it could ever get. But Eltharion proving his worth with 51 kills. The Phoenix Guard, despite the absolute drubbing they took, they still managed to kill 41 troops. His own Loth and Seaguard got 44, his Illyrian Reavers got 24, his Silver Helms, though, 66. Definitely man of the match in that regard. The War Lions definitely got their own paws and teeth stuck in there, and even though the Flamespire Phoenix really only got 11 kills, which is far less than the other monster on the other side, with the Sun Dragon, it itself held up that entire flank, stopped the Sun Dragon from being able to cause havoc elsewhere, and I would actually award that the man of the match, really. I think that was the one that actually turned the tide and made sure that Eltharion's forces came out on top in that fight. So that's round 1 of the High Elf pre-eliminations. The next one is going to be Tyrion versus Eltharion the Everqueen, and that one's going to be an interesting fight as well. Until then, thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.